problem, or is this an American problem?
Yeah, well, I imagine the Japanese don't have this kind of problem either. Yeah, no, I mean, to me, yeah, it's just an infrastructure problem. I mean, the internet was put together sloppy, you know, a little piecemeal at a time, sloppy, and so that's why we had all these institutions that were let free. I mean, the whole spam email thing shouldn't even be possible. A lot of this shit shouldn't even be possible. But it certainly should be an alternative for me to get on an internet where I can be accountable and where I can expect other people to be accountable. And so you can be, you know, you could have a screen name or you could have a persona, but you'd still be easily accountable. And that's its immunity with the copyright thing. But then people are able to file fake names. I mean, what's the fucking point of having a DMCA when I can DMCA somebody and they give me I have to spend a preposterous amount of money to sue them for perjury? I mean, you know, in a court system doesn't want to hear it. So what's the point of having the law? The law doesn't mean a goddamn thing. You know, but I mean, that's why there has to be more accountability imposed as a standard. You can't just do this, oh, they have an email address. Well, big fucking deal. Demand a little more than that.
But what I was making earlier, Gary, is this. You know, perfect accountability on the internet would mean this. Every comment you post, every video you put up, everything you do on the internet can be traced to a name and an address. And if we could do that, then fine. We'd have accountability, I guess, if appropriate laws were there to, you know, to regulate our behavior. But is that the internet we really want?
It's the internet we can have. I'm just saying as a parallel internet, you know, as a choice. I go on an internet. It has the sites that are approved, like a domain, like the original domain names. There was a .com, a .net, a .org. They were supposed to be specifically different internets. Okay, you go to one kind of thing that was supposed to be one kind of site. An org wasn't supposed to be a com, and a net wasn't supposed to be a com. All right, there was supposed to be a certain thing. You had a certain expectation that they would be this thing that they were supposed to be. And I'm just saying we could have an internet that was built exactly like that, where I go on an accountable internet. Everything on it has to be accountable. The liars are if you lie about what you're selling on your website in your meta tags, you're no longer in the index. You're blah, 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 blah. And let the assholes have your dirty, stinking puke net, and let people who are civilized have a civilized internet. What's the big fucking deal? God damn, one of these assholes shows up. Well, good, somebody got him. Bravo. I think they got him. Yeah, looks like it.
Well, I mean, I guess what the answer.
But yeah, we can have a choice.
That is that nobody sat down at the beginning of the information
and have all kinds of roads on the fucking internet. Have all kinds.
Right, but the point is, Gary, nobody sat down at the beginning of the internet age, the information age, and said, okay, let's create this thing called the internet, and we'll have compartmentalized portions of it. You know, it's just grown organically.
That's the sad, tragic goddamn
to rein it
in. Was the little fucking greedy nerds who said, no, let's keep the spam possible because we can make fucking money. Let's let the shysters fucking rule. Let's let them spam the index. Let's let them spam the directories because we can all fucking make money. All right, it became about making fucking money, and once the nerds were chasing dollars, they became a fucking menace.
You're talking about establishing legislation to limit malicious behavior on private sites. I really don't see that occurring. And how exactly would that be enforced? I mean, we have a lot of problems facing us if you want this to be a reality, and I really don't see any solution that could at all limit this to anyone who wants to express opinions freely.
Freely, without accountability. Again, what's the point of allowing people to show up at a goddamn, if I'm making a public speech on the public ground in front of the White House, and I'm making my speech, and some asshole can show up in put a sheet over his head with a megaphone and just start making fart noises. What the fuck is that shit? It's his free speech? Fuck him. All right, kick him in the ass, put him in a garbage truck and ship him off.
But Gary, I mean, that analogy you just made is kind of revealing, because if somebody showed up on the edge of the crowd and started making fart noises, number one, you'd be able to see them, and you'd be able to hear them, and you'd be able to connect, what you heard with what you saw, and then there'd be a cop that you could call and say, "Hey, go take care of that guy." But that is not the way the internet is.
Go take care of that guy based on what, though, Remy? What would be the law that would be being enforced? All right, be some sort of rule of conduct.
Well, what law would be enforceable?
Well, I'm just saying, it'd be the same law that would be enforced on the
law.
fucking internet. There wouldn't be any distinction. There'd be the same fucking law. The cop would say, you can't function on this fucking ground. You want to do your megaphone thing, you go do it some fucking place else.
Right, but the point is, in that scenario, whatever the laws were, maybe there would be a law that would prescribe that behavior, maybe not, but at least you could get the aggrieved party, and that's you, and the aggriever, that's the fart-making guy, and the cop together in a head-to-head conversation. But that's what's missing on the internet. Because
no, I think you're misunderstanding, Gary. I'm all for accountability. However, I think this has to be regulated by these private sites. It has to be regulated by the host of this application, forum, venue, what have you. If these terms of service and rules are not in place, you're going to have chaos. You're going to have subversive groups like Anonymous coming in and causing problems. But this is not a failing on the judicial level. This is a failing of these websites particularly.
But the failing is because we're not forcing them to make a choice. We're allowing them to vote both for the Democrats and the Republicans. We're allowing them to play both sides of the street because we're not forcing any kind of street. We're not saying there's a right side and a left side of the street, a rational speed limit and an irrational speed limit road. We're cramming both roads together, and they're not being forced to make a choice. So yes, the company should have to make a choice. They should say, I want to be on the civilized net, or I want to be on the uncivilized net. I want to be on the internet that has a search engine that can't be spammed. I want to be on the internet that has a search engine that can be spammed. And they'd have to make a fucking choice. Or they could have a different institution for both environments. But they couldn't use the same fucking one-size-fits-all. Like, here, we're going to create one thing that's supposed to be for both civilized and uncivilized people. We're going to let the trolls and the human beings eat at the same fucking table. That's bullshit.
But I'm looking at your argument, and I see a problem you're having with that specific venue. Again, I don't think that any legislation that could be put in place could really limit this behavior without the actual site that you're on getting behind that and enforcing this. You're going to have a huge problem getting a private industry to enforce these kind of regulations and actually limit people from being told. Limit people from.
Well, that's like saying you couldn't enforce that there was no possible way to enforce the .NET protocols. And of course there were. They were just never enforced. There was no enforcement of the principles of the .NET, and so the .NET was ruined, destroyed, made completely pointless and useless. And I'm just saying that all it had to do was be enforced. And so if you had a .NET that was enforced, then a company like YouTube couldn't be on it, all right, if it didn't have registered clients, okay? So if a person wanted to be on their service, the rule would be that if you had a screen name, you had to have a legitimate ISP email, you had to have a certain different things, and if you didn't have those fucking things, you weren't going to play on that internet. You'd have to go to the porn internet or the shit internet, but you couldn't stay on the .NET internet.
Let me ask this, Gary. I mean, imagine we created this bifurcated internet, and one half of it is completely responsive, and the other half is totally wild. I know where I'd spend most of my time, and that would be on the wild internet. And I suspect you would too. And then you'd be asking, well, come on, let's have more accountability.
Completely wrong, Remy, because there's not a goddamn thing I do on the internet that has one goddamn thing to do with motherfucking unaccountable trolls. Name me one thing I do on the goddamn internet, Remy. All right, name me something.
I'm not talking about you, Gary.
We're
saying
cheaters and liars.
I'm saying I would think
cheaters and liars.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
you're
need them for a
misunderstanding.
goddamn
I'm not talking about what
motherfucking
you're
thing.
saying.
Remy, there's very good porn in public libraries, Remy. You just have to know where to look for it. But it's there, Remy. Okay?
I'm not looking for
I
porn.
need from honest people. I don't have to get anything I need from dishonest motherfucking cunts who just want to steal people's fucking money. I'm sick of liars being protected by our civilization.
So you're talking about
I'm sick of the liars being
Gary, you're getting passionate. It's not becoming. I mean, the point is, I would imagine a lot of the more interesting content on the internet would gravitate toward the unregulated side.
Name it, Remy.
And
Name
so-
me this interesting content, Remy. Name me that isn't built around the fucking idea of I'm going to lie to you. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to show you an image on my YouTube video of a naked girl. And then the video is going to be about a cup of soup. Okay? Because I'm a liar. So how does that help me, Remy? How is my life improved because I watched a video that was advertised falsely? Why would I encourage that or want that? Stop doing that, Dennis.
Yeah, I tried to kick that guy, but apparently he's kick-proofed himself. So, oh well, your kick is more potent than mine, it seems. But no, man. Here's what you're saying. You know, there are two kinds of sites on the internet, and one is, you know, I'll sell you porn or I'll fish you or whatever, and the other are people who want their identities connected to everything they do on the internet. I don't think that's true.
I just want people to be
I
accountable.
think there's
I
a
don't
lot
want
of
a
cool
liar
content on the
to be
internet.
on my internet. I don't want a lie to be in the Google index. Okay, I don't want the top 10 results to have 5 results that are motherfucking lies. Complete lies. People who have created fake websites, steal other people's content, selling a lie, just trying to steal people's money and sell Google ads. Yeah, I don't want that internet. I don't want an internet that allows people to lie with abandon freely.
Gary, if that policy is enacted, you have de facto banned all Republicans from advertising themselves on the internet.
Har, har.
I mean, a lot of Democrats lie. Fucking Obama was the biggest fucking liar humanity has ever known. Oh, I'm going to raise taxes on the rich. Well, when's he going to do that? 2012?
Right, but what you're saying, Gary, is I mean, your assumption here is that there are two kinds of sites on the internet. There are the lie, cheat, and steal sites, and then there are sites where people wouldn't mind having everything they do on the internet connected to their home phone number, name, and address. And what I'm saying is that there's a lot of interesting content.
Remy. I'm not saying that you would be
created by people.
I'm not saying
don't
that
want to be
anybody
accountable
could know
in
your
that sense.
identity. What I'm saying, though, is that your identity would be registered, that everything you did you would be accountable for. You would have an IP address that would not change. So anything you did on the fucking internet would have a paper trail. Yes, that I'm arguing. It wouldn't be a paper trail anybody could look up. It would be a paper trail that you'd be accountable for if you were accused of committing a crime on the fucking internet.
Gary, I'd like to interject if I may. That already fucking
You have a
exists.
paper trail.
MAC addresses are tied to your hardware, and it's actually cataloged. I could pull up your MAC address by the motherboard you purchased. I could easily find you based on that, and this is public information. Anyone can get that. Anyone, including me. I could get it from everyone in this room if I really wanted to. However, I really don't like what you're suggesting. This legislation is going to create an internet authority by product, no matter how you get around that. What about websites you benefit from, which would be considered illicit by this internet authority, like WikiLeaks, torrents? I'm sure you've used torrents before. Those things would not exist.
No,
Social news sites as well.
I said this is bullshit, okay? That's what I said. I said this is fucking bullshit, okay? This is just a way of going around the fucking law. This doesn't solve the problem. This is not the way to do life on Earth, okay? This fucking let's all be semi-criminals. Fuck it. So that was my opinion of that. And WikiLeaks or whatever, yeah, I mean, my opinion's the same on that one. There's got to be some accountability. You can't just allow people to have goddamn jobs where they say, okay, I've committed to this kind of job. These are the security parameters. These are my obligations, and I'm going to fuck that over, okay, because I think there's something else that has to be. No, that's just bull fucking shit. Change the fucking law, but don't sit there and